Hello everybody, this is Xehanort Kamikaze, and today we're going to go over the Sith Juggernaut under the Immortal spec. This is a video to help those start getting an understanding for the Immortal spec, just to get started, because they are new, or they don't fully understand it. So this is hopefully going to help everybody else to get a better understanding or just a starting point as they develop their skills, finding their own way, and having their own rotations, back, setup, all that kind of fun stuff. To get started, we'll be going through the utility points, and I will also be pointing out stuff from the discipline path as things to note. Please read through all of this though, so that way you can understand everything that's helpful that the discipline path provides. I will also be going over the basic rotation that I have, and then I will be going over the threats, the taunts, the couple AoEs that you have. And then from there, if I have time, I will be going over some of the tips. I have some player tips to share. Alright, so starting from the utility points, I have it set up with Payback, where it reduces the cooldown of your Unleash ability by 30 seconds, as well as healing you for 10% of your maximum health when used. I also have it on Unyielding, which generates 4 rage when you're CC'd by stun, immobilized, put to sleep, knocked down. Good side stuff that you can do will be using Path Carver, which increases your sleeping slash by damage by 25%. If you really wanted to, but I do not recommend it, is to use Overwhelm to immobilize your target using Ravage. As a tank, that's not going to be too terribly useful. Under Masterful, I have Unstoppable, which Force Charge will grant Unstoppable, which makes you immune to movement impairing effects and effects that push or pull you for 4 seconds. I also have Sonic Wall, which Threatening Scream will protect your allies within range, and only your allies, by granting them Sonic Wall, which absorbs a moderate amount of damage for 10 seconds. Crushing Fist is a good secondary, which an Immortal Discipline. Smash will slow your targets, but that it damages by 60% for 10 seconds. Useful in case one happens to start moving towards, like, say, a healer, to give you a chance to bring it back onto you. In the heroic section, I have Warbringer. Oh, another good Masterful. Strangulate is another good one to reduce the cooldown of Force Stroke by 15 seconds. Combined with one of the notes from Discipline Path, you'll understand why that's useful. For Heroic, I have Warbringer, which enables your next Force Charge will enable your next Vicious Throw to be used against a target with any percentage of health, which lasts up to 15 seconds. Vicious Throw is usually used on targets with 30% or less health. So Force Charge enabling it to be used against a target with any percentage health is actually very useful. So you can use it against someone who has full health, for example. I also have Through Passion, which reduces the cooldown of Enraged Defense by 30 seconds, which is one of your defensive abilities, reducing its cooldown time to 1.5 minutes instead of 2 minutes. I also have Seething Hatred, which, when you exit combat, the active cooldowns of Force Charge, Enrage, and Saber Throw are automatically completed. So when you go to re-engage in combat, you have all of them available to you. And the legendaries section, I have Intimidating Presence, which Force Charge finishes the cooldown on Disruption. Your Saber Reflect will last for 2 seconds longer, so anybody attacking you while you have Saber Reflect up will be taking the damage dealing damage to themselves for 5 seconds instead of 3. And since we are a tank, we will be in SWTOR form, which will also cause your Saber Reflect to generate a high amount of threat on all engaged enemies within 30 meters of you. So things to note, your smash or sweeping slash will also cause unsteady on your opponents, which will cause their accuracy to be decreased by 5%. Your force choke will have double the damage, and it will produce a high amount of threat, and it will become an instant cast. This is if you are specced for Strangulate, your force choke ability will have reduced cooldown time by 15 seconds, and with instant cast, high threat, it's actually going to be very useful with the rotation. Force Scream will also cause a sonic barrier on yourself, which will increase, or not increase, it will absorb a moderate amount of damage for 10 seconds. Crushing Blow will impair the target for 45 seconds, which decreases their force and tech damage by 5%. Crushing Blow will also be an AoE if you are protected by your Aegis Assault first. It's the main combination. So with your threat abilities that generate high threat will be your Force Choke, your Backhand, your Crushing Blow, and if you are specced for it, your Saber Reflect. Your taunting abilities will be Threatening Scream, which will be your AoE taunt, and you'll also have your regular taunt for your single target, which are these two right down here. Your AoEs will be Sweeping Slash, your Smash, and then through the combo of Aegis and Crushing Blow will be your Aegis Assault, followed by Crushing Blow will also be an AoE. So for your rotation, I have it set to where my Aegis Assault followed by Force Charge and all that. Really what it is starting off with Force Charge here, followed by Smash, Aegis Assault, Crushing Blow, Vicious, Retaliation, Sister Procs, Saber Throw, Backhand, Force Scream, Ravage. Then you'll be going through again. Another way of doing this would be Force Charge, Smash, Backhand right off the bat to generate that high threat to guarantee to keep them on you. Otherwise, you could just keep doing the same thing here. Keep up with the Smash, Aegis Assault, and Crushing Blow. And then after you use the procs to do the backhand before moving on. So I mean, you really have many options you can do. You just cannot rush. The biggest thing on tank is to have timing. Absolute timing, because as you notice, as I was going through that, I had quite a bit of cooldowns going at the same time. A tank who has precise timing will have things finishing off by the time they're either halfway or even a quarter of by the time they're halfway or even reaching the end of their rotation, so they can come back and start going through the rotation again. So that way they can keep going, they can keep the thread up, and they can do their job. By the time you're going through the second time, your backhand will still be on cooldown. You would basically be losing a bunch of ads by the time if you're waiting for your backhand. So a good way to substitute for that is to use Force Choke. That will be like a substitute for backhand for another high threat ability. You'll also have your Saber Reflect. Is absolute if you need it to keep a hold of your ads as well. So anyway, there's the basics of the tank role here. So for some player tips, under character perks, under your legacy, which is going to be Y, you can advancement. Use what you're going to be in the most. So let's say you're going to be in war zones often. Maximize as much as you can for your war zone experience, and keep advancing it as you get through. As you go up to Legacy level 10. Same thing with flashpoints. If you're going to use flashpoints, exploration mixed in with will be helpful, especially if you're doing class missions to level up. Exploration and class missions go hand in hand. The last row here is only going to be useful for subscribers as well as those who are at max level, because command experience is max level only, and you have to be subscribed to even get command experience. So that's 2 of the downside of 3. The other downside for unlocking the command experience is to maximize in order to maximize the command experience here is going to cost you 3.5 million credits. And that's quite a bit of credits for a lot of new players. So for global unlocks here, under other, not even done yet. That's just for advancement. So still under character perks with companion. Under companion, I recommend you get Legacy of Altruism maxed out to get 30% increase to influence to your companions from the companion gifts. And I also recommend getting Legacy of Promptness maxed out to reduce the time it takes to give the gifts to the companions by a total of 60%. So I'll take the 3-second gift time that it takes to give the companions, and it will reduce it down to about 1.5 seconds. 1.6 maybe. Under travel, you can never go wrong with improved speeder piloting. However, that's better from your main down to your alts, but it's still very useful. I recommend getting priority transport personal starship first, because that'll allow you to port to your starship even if you're in the middle of nowhere on any random planet. It's also useful to get these side planets such as CZ198, as well as the black hole. So that way, if you're not sure where they are on the map, you can just port there, and it's free to port there. So that's useful. The main two things under convenience I recommend getting is the field repair droid, as well as the field respec, because that allows you to respec in the middle. Like let's say you're in the middle of a flashpoint and you lose your tank, and you happen to be a DPS Juggernaut, and you have the gear for tank. You're able to respec into the tank so your group can keep going with one less DPS. It's also useful for, like, say you're on a sorcerer that is playing a lightning spec, but your group loses the healer. You're able to go switch from lightning spec to the heal role as a sorcerer and heal for the group. Field repair droid is useful because you're able to drop it in the middle of the op or in the middle of the flashpoint, and your group will be able to both repair and will be able to sell items if their bags were starting to get full. But in the long run, everything under convenience is useful for one situation or another. Now, under global unlocks, I do recommend having one character at some point reach max alignment in the light side attunement, so that way you can get the Unity defensive ability to get a 50% reduction from damage reduction while your companion is out. From ship unlocks, where I do this video, I recommend getting the training dummies for both operations and Warzone, so you can test out your damage output. Repair droid as well if you want to test out your tanking and healing. All of which are useful. Just don't have to get them if you don't want to. The rest are not. It's pointless to get the rest. The other 5 only because you have your strongholds and the fleet available for the rest of them. Under convenience, I recommend getting the Legacy Fleet Pass, your Legacy Travel, and your Improved Priority Transport Personal Starship, because with them all maxed out, you could port all day to your ship, either a fleet, or if you're on planet side, you could port all over the planet continuously, because you have no cooldown whatsoever. You could just port around for the heck of it if you're just bored and you have nothing better to do. I also recommend that you get the tactical markers in case you happen to be the group leader or even operation leader. So you can mark out where each role is going to be at, and be able to assign where people are going to be before the boss fight. And just for fun, I recommend getting the improved mounting, because you're going to fall in love with it and you're going to hate having to start over on a new account without it, because it allows you to mount while you're moving. Anyway, that's all I have for you today, and I wish you guys the best of luck as a Immortal Juggernaut.